Yo, it's time for another one. It's late, but I told you it was still coming. The traffic today was nasty. Nasty like Action Jackson on the fast break. Mark Jackson, hand down, man down. The 88-89 season this is modeled after 16.9 points per game, 8.6 assists, 47% field goal percentage, and he was 23 years old. This was his second season in the NBA out of St. John's. Mark Jackson was definitely a pure point guard. Was never a really great scorer. This was actually, I believe, the best statistical season he had as a scorer, which is why I chose this. This was actually the season where he had the highest per rating. So that's that performance efficiency rating thing. So it kind of, what I've been noticing is the year that I'm selecting to be selecting as the player's best year seems to match up with the per almost every time, if not every time. So I think I've been pretty consistent with that. His rating overall is not real high. It's like 79. But as I keep trying to remind everybody, don't pay attention to that overall as much. The overall does not mean as much as the skills in specific areas. So you got to pay attention to that. I mean, as a point guard, you want to look at like the ball control. You want to look at the passing. You want to look at the passing accuracy, the pass vision, the speed, the quickness, that kind of thing. Leaping ability, shooting, obviously. Those are the numbers you want to pay attention to. And like I said, as I've played with every single player that I've created, I've kind of found that these dudes are playing the way I think they should play in real, like they would play in real life. So I've been pretty pleased with the level of realism in the little mock sessions that I'm having with each guy. So once this is uploaded, you guys can have at it. This is only like, I think 36 that I've done, but I've been trying to churn out 3 a day. On that pace, this will be uploaded around the All-Star break. So as long as I keep churning them out at this pace, we'll be good. Like I said, ran a little bit late today. This Chicago traffic and this snowstorm is just a beast. But next up, Teen Wolf, the big ticket, young Kevin Garnett. This looks like, on the court, you'll see once I show you some of the little gameplay footage. On the court, it looks just like him. Up close, it's okay. It's okay. But this season was more than okay. 03-04 season, his MVP year, 24 points, 13.9 boards, 2.2 blocks, 27 years old. Wow. I mean, as I was looking through the stats, right, and I'm, using my scale, right, I'm like, his rating is going to be ridiculous. I don't think anybody's going to say nothing about his rating. But then as I kept going through the stats, his efficiency rating was so high in every single category this year. I mean, he was phenomenal this season. And it turned out, as you saw, with an overall of 95. Like I said, you can't necessarily pay attention to the overall, but in this situation, man, this dude is, it was ridiculous. I believe his overall rating might be the highest of any legend I created thus far, and that's even over like Wilt. And you might be like, why and how is it over? That's crazy, right? Well, you got to look at things like speed and leaping ability and the mental. Some of the ratings are based off mental aspects, like defensive IQ and that kind of thing, lateral quickness. And when Kevin Garnett was 27 years old, man, he was a phenomenal athlete. We already know about what type of defensive player he was. He was like, I think in about 2 or 3 years, he was going to win the defensive player of the year. So, I mean, he had it all. He really had it all. Wasn't quite shooting threes at a crazy rate, but because I got him as a power forward, the 3 rating, it helps if it's high, but if it's not that high, it doesn't take off. So that's what I'm saying. The 2K rating system is, the way it's balanced, it's not so much about the overall, and I think they did that on purpose, but it can be kind of confusing because we all pretty much look for the overall and say, oh, he's rated a 90, or he's rated this, or he's rated a that. But it's got a little bit more to it than just that. So this Garnett, though, you wait till you see the gameplay I use. It's just a little smidgen at the end, but you know, it's taking on a familiar face in the little gameplay. Well, actually, to be honest, 2 familiar faces in the gameplay section. So it's actually, I thought it came out pretty good. And like, you know, in the gameplay sections, I try to put them in jerseys that they actually played in, so you can really get the visual, you know, the whole visual connection there. Even though I think this whole roster file is going to be better as a fantasy draft. I think that's how you'll really be able to get some enjoyment out of it. But man, this Kevin Garnett this season was crazy. And it was actually the first of 4 seasons he led the league in rebounding. Next, last, but certainly not least, is Kevin Johnson. I think this is probably my most accurate one of this episode. I don't know. I like it. 90-91 Kevin Johnson, 22.2 points, 10.1 assists, 2.1 steals. He was only 24 years old. I actually forgot that he was the number 7 pick overall. I knew he was drafted by Cleveland initially, but I didn't realize it was that high. He was the number 7 pick overall. They kind of gave up on him, traded him to Phoenix. Never really gave him a chance, to be honest. Got to Phoenix and blew up. One of the best point guards in the 90s. Clearly, it's not even up for debate, right? Super duper speed. I mean, the only thing he really didn't have, he had his turnover rates was a little bit kind of high, but the only thing he really didn't have is a lot of range on his jump shot. Now, he actually extended it and started hitting the 3 once he turned like 29, but a lot of his other numbers dropped at that point, so I couldn't really use those years. I decided to use this season because overall it was his best, but he was missing the 3-point component. So it's not like he can't make a 3 at all. That's not the case, but don't expect for him to be lighting it up from 3-point range. That wasn't really his game anyway. He was a mid-range shooter, get to the basket, get to the free throw line with the phenomenal first step that was crazy. A lot of people know him now because he's a mayor of Sacramento. He's actually from Sacramento. But, you know, as far as basketball, he made his name playing for the Phoenix Suns. A lot of people also don't remember that he came from University of California, went to Cal. So that's where, he was there right before Jason Kidd. So Cal had a nice little run of point guards. Maybe not actually back to back, but in a pretty short span of time, they had some elite level point guards. So Kevin Johnson, I was excited about putting this in. He's one of the first people I think about. I'm like, man, they really need to have him. I think he's a part of the My Team joint, but it's one of the things we love from My Team, man. If we were able to actually incorporate, some of the people that you unlock in My Team, and then put them, in the game for use in other modes, but you can't do it as of yet. So it is what it is. So shortly we're gonna jump into this gameplay footage, and I'm gonna let y'all take a look at that without my voice. So here's some of the announcing and all of that. There's Barkley. We got other people. Y'all subscribe, follow.
Joined by Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. They'll play this one here in Phoenix before the Suns head back out on the road. They beat the Knicks during their last encounter. Clark could have put that one through any way he wanted.
And I love the choice there, partner. Going hard to the hoop for that throwdown.
Yeah, that's invisible defense leading to a very visible finish.
Great job of utilizing that screen. And
rebound by the Suns. They're coming off that win against Minnesota.
Yeah, it didn't seem to be much of a challenge for them in that game. It seemed like they scored at will. Not much defense that they were facing.
Shots haven't been falling for him early on.
Now here's Kidd. Johnson up top, guarded by Shumpert. Good. 6 points for Johnson. He's hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. Knocked away. It's stolen by Johnson. Here's Barkley.
Oh, ridiculous
ridiculous move. Tore it down that time. That is up-tempo basketball at its best.
Greetings, everyone. 2K Sports brings you the NBA.
Tear, obviously, and he's not been a guy who's ever taken plays off. He still plays the game with a very rare intensity.
And now, and Rubio kicks to Martin. Pass to Garnett. Banked in off the glass. Garnett's got his second bucket tonight.
Guys, good job working it down low and getting the high percentage, and it showed.
Now, here's Rubio, averaging 9 points per contest. Here's Garnett. That's in, coming off an assist from a matchup with Boston.
And you look at the stat sheet from that night, I mean, the turnovers were just glaring. No way you're going to give up the ball as many times as they did and still win.
Well, not unless you play an even tougher percentage you're in.
So it's the Timberwolves now, following the three-pointer by Brooklyn. The rim-rattling two-handed jam.
I think they gave him a little too much room there. I mean, that was all he needed to rise up and punch that one down.